What's up, YouTube? It's me, Smarty J here. Welcome back to another live stream. We are indeed live, and welcome to a special FNAF live stream. Apologies for the buffering at the start. We seem to have dropped a little bit of frames, but I'm keeping an eye on that. My connection is fine right now, besides the random stutter. But yes, welcome to the live stream where, well, let's just get into it. There's a secret to be told. Find It to Freddy's Secret of the Mimic live discussion. Welcome back, everyone, to another live stream. It's time for another FNAF related stream, and it's time for a secret, it's time for another FNAF stream, and there's a secret afoot. The latest entry in the FNAF world, Find It to Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, is coming out in June, and early this year, we finally started getting some good looks at it. Besides the reveal during the FNAF 10th anniversary and a private demo at PAX, we were only working with a time and a few given details. So, when a full trailer and Steam page dropped this year, I figured now would be a good enough time to give this a bit of attention on the channel and find out what the secret of the Mimic is hiding. So join me today as we cover all things Secret of the Mimic live and see what the next major FNAF game from Steelwool Studios has to offer. What details and information do we have on Secret of the Mimic? What do they tell us about its importance and role in the FNAF story as of late? What details, Easter eggs, and hints await us? What do I have to say about the game as a whole? Does it look bad? Good? Is there anything I have to say? Or anything else I want to discuss about the recent FNAF direction? Only one way to find out. If you're excited and ready to see me cover the current news and information on Secret of the Mimic, then today, please back, relax, and enjoy the show. Well, enough rambling. Got the connection back to excellent, so that's good by me. And yes, our intro music plus one of our teasers is the teaser debut video, which we're gonna watch, fully in a few minutes. But yes, welcome, one and all. Yeah, if I end up being so busy yesterday, I kind of want to do a funny, where I was going to do the stream yesterday, because with Help Wanted 2 getting that's something else I didn't even mention in the description, but Help Wanted 2 got a December update that had the code for the ending of that update, 4625, and people were speculating April 6, 2025, and I was gonna be funny to do a Mimic stream that day, but didn't get to do it, so we're a day late since that date. But according to what I looked around online yesterday, I don't think anything new dropped Mimic related, so I think we're in the clear to just cover everything else that we have right now. So that being said, hope you guys like the thumbnail. This takes from the teasers, the trailer, and mainly and a little bit of the Steam page, all wrapped up together in one thumbnail. So that being said, why are we starting to drop frames again? Hold on a second, fellas. Alright, we should be excellent. Still excellent. I don't know why we started dropping frames again. I'm going to keep an eye on that because I really don't want to postpone the stream. I want to get the stream. This is supposed to be a one and done stream that just gets done in the moment and we move on from it. So I'm going to keep my eyes on the stream. It's probably going to be tabbing over here a lot to get links and stuff. So I have my eye on the studio 100% today, and hopefully we're not going to have any issues. But anyways, yeah, here we are. Hello, everybody. So yeah, Secret of the Mimic is the next. Okay, we are keeping an eye on things because I don't want to go too far ahead. If there is a major issue, I could restart the entire stream page, but then I have to reset up the entire stream page again. But we'll see. I think we should be fine. I'm gonna refresh my chat preview too, just so I have a fresh preview for that, just so I can see if there's any issues live. anyways. So, yeah, obviously Secret of the Mimic is the next FNAF game that's coming out this year. And our first bit of information on it came back, like I said, during FNAF's 10th anniversary back on August 6th. With this 42-second teaser, which, like I said, we'll look at it in a second. So that was our first bit, and then we got a trailer in February. I think it was February. And then we got a Steam page last month, because I remember seeing someone share this last month, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, I could do a news video on that, but I hadn't yet. So that's why I'm combining everything into one place. But yeah, anyways, so with that being said, this is already still on loop, so this will be easy for rewatching. But let's take a gander back at the teaser trailer that we got. We'll also read the description again in a second, but here we are. So obviously, I'll let it play, and then we'll talk. Freddy's Secret of the Mimic. And yeah, this year, 2025. So I obviously watched this during the FNAF 10th anniversary week. So like I said, this is something I've already seen. I've technically seen the trailer. And I think I only skimmed at the Steam page. So going to the Steam page, I'll have a lot to look at there. But, yeah, so, obviously, this was the Steel Wool announcement that we had back for FNAF's 10th anniversary, which, if you remember, I should actually, I'm just gonna cross-reference a couple things, so let me go get up the general FNAF playlist. That would be good. I opened the wrong FNAF playlist. That is the wrong FNAF playlist I need right now. These are not the playlists you are looking for. We might come back to that playlist and talk about it when I have a good general discussion. But no, what we need is the general FNAF playlist that this stream's gonna ultimately end up in. So if we go all the way to the very bottom of this playlist. So yeah, obviously, so I can have it on screen for the visuals. So I'm just going to mute the past video. Thank you. So yeah, we obviously had the list of things that we're getting, and I think stuff was moving around, but yeah, we had the Steel Wool announcement that was originally for August 4th, released on August 6th, because a lot of the stuff got moved around by like the later half of towards the beginning of the event. But yeah, we had the Steel Wool announcement, which was the Secret of the Mimic trailer, teaser. And yeah, so we knew about this coming out when we had the whole FNAF 10th anniversary lineup announced to us. So this is what we got, and yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. So, teaser starts us with a carpet-looking aesthetic to reveal a music box which is playing a familiar tune. In a different key, but a familiar tune nonetheless. And then a mask pops out of the box after it's done winding. And a film appears on screen like a burning ending of a film reel. And then we get the title reveal. Secret of the Mimic. And like I said, the reveal that it's coming out this year, 2025. But yeah. So first and foremost, seeing a music box thing is interesting. It's a lot retroer than the Puppets music box, or just box. And again, hearing the My Grandfather Clock in the trailer is interesting, to say the least. And again, we get this mask, which we get a better look at who this is in the main trailer, and also promo material for the game. But we can already see the Mimic's orangey yellow eyes that kind of got to see in Ruin, which again we're gonna talk about the FNAF story later on in the stream. But yeah, obviously we get the Mimic, and it looks like it's in a clown mask. From at least this look, it looks like a clown mask, obviously. It has like eyelashes, a red nose, and a white face, and it almost has like that Fun Time split too. So, and then I'm gonna do the frame by frame here. We have a film reel that reveals part of what I put in the thumbnail. We have 1979, the year that this game is presumably going to be taking place, because if I get out of full screen now, and we pause it on the title, if we look at the description, to see the future, sometimes you need to understand the path. A brand new original nightmare in the Five Nights at Freddy's universe. So yes, this game is to understand the future of where the story might be going. You gotta understand the past. So yeah, this game is seemingly gonna be set way back. So yeah, it's interesting that, like I said, this is the real reveal we got. And then, like I said, there was a PAX demo that I referenced in the description that I don't obviously have anything I could show off from that, because that stuff was like kept in tight, and the only videos on it were people discussing what they got to see at the event. But yeah, nevertheless, this is the trailer we got, and it's interesting. It is interesting, and I thought I had liked this. I guess I didn't. I honestly, this was a neat piece of FNAF media. I liked it, because it was, like I said, the weird, like I said, where we had the 1979 date, and we have like this retro carpet. It does feel like obviously something that is coming out from an older time period, and the box looks a lot more retro and old school than the box the puppet is in FNAF like 2 and whatever other games Puppet appears in and whatnot. So it is interesting. It is interesting that it's also playing the grandfather clock, so meaning that like that track might not necessarily be specifically for the puppet. It just might have been something Fazbear reused in the story for the puppet. And again, but they do sound a bit different, because this one sounds a little more, it's a lot higher pitched than the one that we're used to with FNAF 2, UCN, whatever, Help Wanted. So yeah, we got that. That's interesting. We're gonna leave the FNAF game playlist open. But yeah, so that's interesting that we got that. And then, yeah, so we had the PAX thing, like I said, then we had, after the PAX thing in the teaser trailer, we didn't have anything till like December, when a teaser was coming out for Help Wanted 2 getting DLC, which, like I said, the only Help Wanted 2 video we have, I have on the channel is me, how far back is it? Is me reacting to the trailer. Because I obviously have, way before that, I have the teaser trailer reaction and this big FNAF update video. So, that's when we also watched the Ruin trailer and the FNAF movie trailer, which I might talk about the FNAF movie too at the end of the stream, because I don't think I'm going to be watching the trailer on stream like I did back here a year ago, or almost 2 years ago maybe. But we'll get to that. But yeah. So that happened. That's all we had, and like I said, then we got a little update in Help Wanted 2, which was teasing probably like the building the game was gonna be set in, the return of the MXES from Ruin, the Vanny mask being part, having a part of the puzzle, having there be a literal puzzle, referencing part of the PAX West demo with the model reveal of the character named Jackie, and then having even the box from the trailer and the carpet aesthetic too. I think similar aesthetic. I don't think it was the exact same. But after that, then we got, did I not copy the right link? Hold on, I don't need to open the same trailer again. I might have copied the wrong trailer. So I did copy these in, I think, out of order last night. Okay, that still says the teaser trailer. So did I copy the right? I'm trying to make sure I'm not opening the teaser trailer again. I want to open the main trailer. Secret of the Mimic trailer, PS5 gameplay. Yes. So yeah. Then don't play it. So then, like I said, after the teaser, the PAX event. I don't remember if it was West or East. The PAX event, the Help Wanted update 2, a little update. Then back on February 12th, we got a full trailer. Oops, and it's muted. Hold on. See, that's another issue. I would have started playing this without audio. Here we go. Steal a logo with the Mimic Eye.
So let me explain the situation. One of our contractors, Edwin Murray, has gone missing, leaving our property abandoned in his warehouse. Your job is simple. Enter the warehouse and retrieve the technology that he was developing for us. It's a kind of prototype endoskeleton that can adapt to any costume and become any character. We suspect it may be malfunctioning, so just be aware of the slim but non-zero chance that you could sustain significant injuries while attempting to retrieve it, including but not limited to death or dismemberment. We fully expect the retrieval process to go smoothly and without incident, but just in case, we suggest you get your repairs in order before arriving.
Yeah, and that's how we got a release date that it's going to be coming out in June. So yeah, so I'll even put captions on for this. Let's take a peek at the trailer a little more. Again, like I said, I watched this when it came out because I think this premiered on a PlayStation live stream. So I think I was catching a few people's live streams, seeing if there was going to be anything FNAF on it. But yeah, so we get this goofy thing of the Steel logo with the Mimic Eye, which is funny. I screenshotted that as like a potential thing to throw in the thumbnail, but I didn't.
So let me explain the situation.
So that's something I think we should start off with right off the bat, and let me just like go back a second too. So obviously we had this van pulling up to driving down the road. Okay, I just fully rebooted OBS, so hopefully that will prevent the frame drops. And I know we've had a couple hiccups already, but I think honestly I'm gonna continue forward, only because I feel like this might end up being a shorter stream than usual. And with the hiccups, and like YouTube will eventually will fix the compression and like the length of the actual stream without the buffering and pausing and disconnecting and reconnecting. So this will be watchable for like a regular person, especially if there's like, I'm explaining things along the way where we're having hiccups. So yeah, but we luckily got through the whole trailer without us disconnecting. It only started disconnecting when I was going to start talking about something. So that's fine by me. But yeah, so as I was trying to say, so I backed it up. If you guys see me back it up, I backed it up. But so I'm like, okay, this is where I want to start talking about things. So first, I want to give context from the Help Wanted 2 update because I had watched the video on it because I haven't gotten Help Wanted 2 yet, and that's something. Again, I'm saving some like general FNAF discussion for the end of the stream. Right now, we're talking about this is specifically the Secret of the Mimic portion of the stream. So, but anyways, so at the end of Help Wanted 2. You finish the update by going up to a van, putting a code in, which is the 4625 that I talked about earlier, and this van drives a similar looking van to this drives away with the MXC program from Ruin, and people speculate where the trailer opens with a truck van driving in. This could be related to that ending, since it was a Help Wanted 2 update that was kind of leaning towards teasing Secret of the Mimic. But yeah, something else that we should talk about, because remember, this game is supposed to be a prequel, or like a very, very early game in the timeline.
Let me explain the situation.
we have what seems to be hand unit, tutorial unit, dread unit, whatever it is in any of the whichever FNAF game you're playing that its name has changed 3 or 4 times. We have the hand unit voice here in a game that's supposed to be set in the past. So this is either the hand unit is a lot older than Circus Baby's Pizza Entertainment and Rental / Pizza World, or the voice for hand unit is based on an actual person that worked for Fazbear Entertainment. There are 2 possibilities there, and either of them are interesting. Also, this has to be an early point in Fazbear's history because that's their logo with no sign of Freddy Fazbear on it. So, talk about an early version of Fazbear's having no Freddy in the logo.
One of our contractors, Edwin Murray, has gone missing.
One of our contractors, Edwin Murray, has gone missing. Now, I know I have been one to read the Tales of the Pizzaplex books, but I know the buzz about the Edwin Murray, the Mimic, the David, because of various theory videos, and also there's that one joke song that I've heard snippets of. But I know Edwin is supposed to be the creator in the Tales story, The Mimic, and we're going to see he's still the creator of The Mimic in the game storyline when this game releases, because there's the debate of if this game's going to confirm that the Tales of the Pizzaplex books are in the game, and if that will, cause a bigger, collapse of how many books are in the game's timeline from Frights to Silver Eyes, even though Silver Eyes is supposed to be its own continuity, yada yada yada, but the whole book debate with FNAF.
Leaving our property abandoned in his warehouse.
So our contractor, that's another thing. The contractor for Fazbear Entertainment has left property abandoned in his warehouse.
Your job is simple.
Also,
the abandoned in one of our contractors, Edwin Murray, has gone missing.
You can definitely tell this is a warehouse. So it's got a lot of random stuff. There's like costume parts or suit parts, cardboard cutouts, shelving with equipment and tools and other boxes. There's like it looks like there's a bee, a dog, another dog, something up here. The text is obviously covering it, but there's something.
Leaving our property.
Oh, that is a full suit. That's a full suit right there. It's got three fingers. I don't know what animal it is. But yeah, we got all these suits. There's rolls of like paper or other pipes and whatnot down here.
Abandoned in his warehouse.
There's a sheep. So that's an interesting cardboard cutout of a character. There's a sheep. And again, there's a cloth. Again, boxes. Which there is a jester looking cardboard cutout. Trash bins and whatnot. Again, all stuff that is probably presumed that you would find in a warehouse. It's got all these weird orange, like probably emergency lights, maybe. So interesting.
Your job is simple.
Your job is simple. Enter the warehouse and retrieve technology that he's been developing for us. Which, if I can back up a second, there looks like there's this generator that it's one of those pull generators that you pull to turn it on. That we just did to open up a door in the facility, and also there's this diamond symbol, which I think was important to like part of the puzzle in Help 1 and 2.
And retrieve the tech.
And here's like the office thing that's been part of the thumbnail. So this looks like a security booth. It's got like a computer. There's like a this actually, I don't know if this would be like a typical office per se. But this does look like this would be like a control office, because like that lever probably controls something that's on the other side of the window. There's the monitors to monitor the room. There's some other equipment on the right. Again, the computer where there's stuff you interact with. There's a paper. There's a bulletin board with other like documents and papers strewed about on it. The classic fan is here. There's a safety poster, which is blurred out, but that's probably a safety poster. A clock that probably reads midnight. Is that a figurine of a thing or a mug? There's something right there. A pizza box on the couch. And we don't know if it's a branded pizza box like a Freddy's pizza box, perhaps. And yeah, just a typical crawl space. Oh wait, hold on. We got a little closer. That figurine thing was so blurry. That looks like a mushroom. And yeah, it does say midnight on the clock. Oh yeah, and that's like a safety poster. It's like I can't read out the text, but there's like it looks like a guide instruction hat, and there's a finger pointing at him like, don't do this or do this. So interesting fan. Costumes of the other animals that we were seeing cardboard cutouts of, like a dog,
Kind of prototype endoskeleton
an elephant, which we'll come back to in a second, and also I'll replay the audio in a second.
can adapt to any costume and become any character.
That might have been the thing we were seeing the belly of earlier. So a seal. It's not a bird. It's got a seal, some other sea lion, some other like Arctic creature.
We suspect it may be malfunctioning.
Alright, so let's back that up for a second. So
That he was developing for us. It's a kind of prototype endoskeleton that can adapt to any costume and become any character.
it's a prototype endoskeleton that can adapt to any costume and become any character. Interesting note for something that we have to collect. And also I'm backing up for this elephant because in Ruin, I know people have to brighten up the scenery, use some out of bounds trickery, but there are costumes in the Mimic's like sealed room that we let him out from that have like an elephant, a bird, like a bird slash crow, and there's like a weird lion thing that's like it's part of like the Mimic's hybrid costume for one of the endings. So yeah, it's interesting.
And become any character. We suspect it may be malfunctioning, so just be aware of the
We are aware. We suspect it might be malfunctioning, so be aware of the slim but non something. And also interesting here, we're in like a darker room, and there seems to be a white silhouette of what I presume to be another character that's from a Pizzaplex, Tales of the Pizzaplex book, the Tiger Rock, in a costume form. Because also in the Help Wanted 2 update, there was a little plush version. I think it was literally just a shrunk down version of a costume that was like the white tiger. Yeah, 0 chance that you could sustain significant injuries while attempting to obtain it.
0 chance that you could sustain significant injuries.
And we back it up here. Like I said, we'll see a better picture with like promotional stuff. But right there, through the bars, with the long, lengthy arms, we can see Jackie. Another, like I said, basically is the face of the promotional material so far. This clown jester-looking thing.
Sustain significant injuries while attempting to retrieve it, including...
And this version of the elephant looks a lot more like the one that was in the underground ruins of the Pizzaplex. Also, speaking of the Pizzaplex and security breach, we have the Fredbear's posters that you can collect. We have the 1888083 poster, and it looks like the Spring Bonnie and the Fredbear posters. So we got Fredbear's mentioned in the trailer. Also, hello, welcome to the stream, Golden Freddy.
Not limited to death or dismemberment.
Yeah.
We fully expect
We respect the retrieval process to go smoothly.
including but not limited to death or dismemberment.
Yeah, also, some of these lines feel like they are almost intentionally almost close to some of the stuff Phone Guy tells you back in FNAF 1. It's like, oh yeah, but not limited to death and dismemberment, blah blah blah. I know it sounds bad, I know. Yada, stuff like that. So you can tell that this is really early Fazbear, like covering themselves. We expect the retrieval process to go smoothly and without incident.
Expect the retrieval process to go smoothly.
And it looks like we're getting further in the facility, and this looks like maybe we're coming up to a catwalk. And here we are again. We get a little closer view. This is in the thumbnail too, kind of in a circular image of the thumbnail. We have Jackie popping out of a vent with the eyes kind of blacked out. I know it's probably hard to tell. I can like turn up the resolution a little bit without blowing up my computer, but yeah, those it's got black eyes, black orangey looking eyes, kinda, and yeah, that's what Jack looks like. They got their long arms holding them out, coming out of the tube, their whole body and whatnot.
But just in case, we suggest you get your affairs in order before arriving.
And we have a mushroom costume, and that looks like to be obviously there's the Mimic inside of it because the Mimic can adapt to any costume. But now that I'm looking at it a little more, on like another glance, before the eyes even turn, before like the eyes fully light up, If we go back to Jackie, for a second, you know, Jackie, like I said, has the black eyes. Look at the face structure, or like the coloring. So look at Jackie.
Incident. But just in case, I suggest you get your affairs in order before arriving.
If you look under the eyes, I don't think that's purely endoskeleton. To me, it might be faded, but to me that almost feels like it could be part of Jackie's face. So maybe the mimic is Jackie, and that's why Jackie's being promoted front and center on promotional material, and Jackie can go into any costume, aka the mimic. So interesting. Also, then we're going to look at a puzzle room and an attraction, the machine in the facility. There's an elephant costume that's missing his arm. There's a window. I don't know if this is the window from earlier. I don't think it fully looks like, because the room inside from this angle does not look like the room that we saw before. There's a first aid kit, surprisingly. Fuse box. And again, we're on a higher floor than this. And again, here we're opening up the thing this time, when the other time it was open. And there's the costume here. And again, it's still missing its arm. But I think I've heard people say that if you brighten it up, it looks like there might be a human arm sticking out of the suit. So that's noteworthy. And we got the puzzle. And we back it up, and we get the puzzle. The puzzle looks a lot different than it did from the shop beforehand. So maybe this is the puzzle incomplete. Back to work, we have what looks like, I think, again, this was mentioned from people who played the PAX demo, that there was like a mail bot that almost, you know, you can almost say this looks like the foundation for a staff bot that appears in security breach. You can see all its gears open and this tattered tear in its suit or body. It's got like lengthy, simplistic arms, you know, simplistic face design. It's got a hat. And obviously, it's at a desk, you know, sorting out papers. It's got a little lamp, you know, there's an exit door that looks like there's another power cord that needs to be done to this door. The bulletin board has stuff taken off it. There's a spiral-looking image behind the mailbot, and I don't think that's the Fall Fest poster that you can find in Help Wanted 2. But it's giving me vibes of that, and also we can see more of the factory through the windows. This is definitely a different part of the factory, because like you can see like almost the ceiling, the hanging lights that would be way up in the ceiling. Again, the room, storages, and surprisingly, a major part of security breach. We had the gift boxes. And Ruin had like virtual boxes, and there were a few physical boxes. But yeah, there are surprisingly the presents way back in the Secret of the Mimic game. So was this like a gimmick thing from Edwin that got carried over to the Pizzaplex? Who knows? But it's interesting that is here in front of the mailbot. And again, this is using a crank to open a gate, a locked gate. Also, a glimpse at whatever our protagonist is gonna be, which obviously is a worker, because it looks like we're wearing a uniform with gloves and a jacket. And again, it looks like we're trying to get to the other side of this room, which I don't think I can see much. There's obviously, I think, a door and boxes, but I don't notice anything else significant besides opening the door. Again, here's the mushroom costume the mimic's probably in, even though the eyes are not illuminated, surprisingly. It looks like there's a bee animatronic, hanging up on display, and there's other machine parts. There's tool shelves, and like a tool bench, and more boxes. Yeah, the bee thing, the windows. So yeah, mushroom guy. It looks like we get to get roof access. We're gonna be outside. It's gonna be raining or snowing. Can't fully tell what it is. It's some kind of precipitation. So we're gonna be on the roof when it's gonna be raining, snowing, something, and whatnot. And then we have again another look at the Tiger Rock, white tiger costume with its blue and green eyes, which I know is a key feature of that story. The cover art for Tiger Rock from Tales of the Pizzaplex. So that's interesting. And I know details that, again, with the whole Mimic story from Tales of the Pizzaplex, that David, the child of Edwin, had a white tiger plush, and there's now a white tiger costume that the Mimic's probably using. And interesting to note. And again, blue eyes, you can see the white fur and black stripes and the whiskers. And then before this computer turns on, we can see a display. The bee thing's back. There's like all these cardboard cutouts, almost giving me the vibes of like the Foxy Pirate rides and whatnot from Help Wanted. The ride's apparently out of order, and there's a giant cake thing, so there's like a display. This is probably an attraction, and it's being out of order because it hasn't been worked on or fixed. And again, we're in a different room. And insert data driver, which is probably this thing, which also looks like a Faz wrench from Ruin and Help Wanted 2 that we got introduced, introduced to. Because if we take it out, it kind of looks like it has like a prong thing that you put like two prongs, like whatever, pointing, whatever. I don't know what the term is for like the pointed parts of a tool. That, electric tool that has like the things you like, not a screwdriver obviously, but I know I'm not explaining this well, but it essentially looks like a Faz wrench, and we plug it in. There's symbols on the thing too. There's a bunch of these symbols which seem like they do different things. Perhaps there's a speaker. It looks like text probably appears here as a power button maybe. And then we get helper terminal 000. Welcome show sub terminal. Please select an option below. Restart welcome show. Star. Missing executive access. So this seems to be showing that there's an even earlier version of Helpy before Pizzeria Simulator. So there's another AI Helpy device, helper character in the series before Helpy, Help I, the Glamrock Helpy that's on the save stations. It's all very, very interesting. And then here, this has a lot of stuff. Looks like, again, another room that there's a lot of material. Like another workshop room, because that looks like there's an animatronic head, like maybe a gas container down here. There's something when they move this, there's something hanging up here. Again, there's like LED lights. Almost there's something down below that's kind of covered up by the red bar. That looks like almost another head or a animatronic part. Yeah, there's like a clown-looking party hat in the background, gears on the wall, probably some other metals. There's chains hanging down, and we got this animatronic that's wobbling towards us, and they look like they have something on their feet. Or they look like they're supposed to have shoes, and I don't know if they actually have shoes or if their feet are literally damaged and they are having exposed endo or worse, wires. But this looks like a nurse character animatronic, and again, a simpler design with the arms, body, legs, and whatnot. But the face has that Fun Time look to it. The splitting faceplate again, just like Jackie. And again, Dolly. I think the tag says Dolly. Yeah, Dolly. And again, up close and personal, we can see the face plates. So this is giving Fun Time-esque, which it might be saying something that William didn't design the Fun Time, like patent style or whatever. If this is in Edwin's warehouse. And it did look like they had something on their back. I don't know if we can go back and see it. It looks like they have like almost a backpack or something. Because they have like this giant cord that's being thrown around with them. It looks like a backpack. Maybe a medical bag. It has like, they have like a wire that's being thrown around as they walk. Another part of the warehouse, boxes, shelves, that's a security door. That literally says security with probably another generator you turn on. There's like, pallets. for like, when you move stuff with like forklifts and whatnot. There's other, looks like other animatronic parts. There's, gates and electronic stuff, piping. That looks like a duck thing over here that's kind of white, all white and blurry. And obviously there's some other materials. There looks like, in the way back, an alligator-looking cardboard cutout, like all the other cardboard cutouts we've been seeing. So, if there is an earlier version of an alligator-gator character, does this mean it predates, obviously, Monty and perhaps, what would have inspired maybe a spirit form for Old Man Consequences? Who knows? There's this mouse thing that we wound up, and it looks like it's gonna maybe be a distraction thing, so we're gonna throw it in a second. This looks like there's another door on the right that might be covered up by some other stuff. Again, I think the bee is back over here. Another like red and yellow tarp thing or something. Yeah, we throw something. We throw probably a distraction for whatever animatronic is nearby. And then we have what looks like we're chasing down a hallway or a catwalk system. And it looks like Jackie is just crawling. Also sparking. Jackie is just being a menace on whatever we are on. And I think they might be sparking because I can't tell if they're missing their legs. I think it might be if they are moving with their arms. And then this room looks like just another main storage area. It doesn't look like you can see much. There's like a wooden plank here, pipes, rails or shelving, or even a catwalk over here. So another room in the facility. And then there's a glass roof. And we got this thing barging through, which it looks like it looks giant. It's got it looks like a giant arm here. So there's probably a body or something right here. This could just be stuff breaking. Another arm this way. And yes, there does seem to be a Music Man, because this looks like a hat. Maybe part of the hat. These weird little like, not fuzzy things, but like ruffles. Yep, that obviously looks like the type of eyes Music Man has. It's got a mustache, the nose. I think this is an old school music box kind of looking thing designed for the mouth. Here's the ears. Anything else before? Whoops, anything else before the jump scare? And then the jaw.
Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for damage to property or person. Thank you for being a valued member of the Fazbear team.
Again, we got that iconic line of, Fazbear Entertainment isn't responsible for death or dismemberment or property or person, blah 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 stuff. Again, the title reveal. Again, this whole film aesthetic thing that we saw from the teaser trailer. And again, the reveal of 6/13/25 is when the game is coming out. So yeah, there seems to be a lot of interesting things, like hinting at there are other characters that could have been here from a way earlier point. There might have been, other animatronics made by maybe Edwin and not William or Henry. So, interesting stuff to think about. And yeah, Find Freddy's Secret of the Mimic. In Find Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, navigate the shadowy costume manor and uncover the secrets of Edwin Murray's unfinished invention, the elusive and menacing Mimic animatronic. So that's more details we have on it, and we'll get furthermore on the Steam page in just a second. But yeah, so this is interesting. And like I said, where this trailer released in February, where we are in early April now, and again, let's see. June 13th is only it'll be a couple months away in 6 days. In about 6 days, it's gonna be 2 months from 13th of April. So I don't know if we're gonna get any other promotional material or teasers, but this is interesting nonetheless. But yeah, We are getting this, and this is really interesting. And that gives a lot to interpretate and chew on. So, last thing obviously in the description is the Steam page. But before we get to that, before we do that, before I open the link that way, if I actually open Steam, because I loaded Steam, which I only mainly load when we're doing a game, but we are looking at a Steam page, so it made sense. I will just pull up the page this way. Finds Freddy's Secret of the Mimic. So, and this is the trailer that we just finished watching. Pause. Alright. But before we get into that, I'm going to get up and refill my water real quickly. And when I come back, we're going to look at the Steam page. We're going to look at all the details that we have there. And I don't know, I might look up after that. I don't know, maybe Steelwool might have posted something on like their own website. I would have to like actually look. But if not, these were my main 3 points that I wanted to cover. And we've already gone through it, and we're almost at an hour. So I'm gonna get my water refilled right now, and when I come back, we're gonna look at the Steam page. We're gonna look at the screenshots. We're gonna read the description, all the information there, and we'll go from there after that. And I'll and then we'll probably get into my little general FNAF discussion at the end of the stream. So I'll be right back. Just a couple minutes. Alright, we're back. Let's read the description first before we get any looking at the screenshots. So, enter the abandoned workshop of Murray's Costume Manor and unravel the mystery left behind by the reclusive inventor. In Final Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, you will step into a world where every dark corner holds a secret, and every flicker of light hints at an ever-present threat. Enter the abandoned warehouse. Murray's go. Yeah, okay. Okay, so this has the beginning portion of that little blurb. The Mimic, prototype endoskeleton, can adapt to any costume and become any character, including what you fear most. Armed with your own wits, a few gadgets, and a heavy, redacted corporation briefing, you'll attempt to retrieve Fazbear's prized prototype technology while grappling with cryptic clues and relentless shadow determined to dispatch all unwanted company. Prepare for heart-pounding thrills, and as you explore the labyrinth of the decrepit costume manor, discover remnants of Edwin's unfinished work and excluding the monster he created. Or eluding the monster he created. Experience Final Fantasy Security Breach and survive the mysteries and madness. Final Fantasy Security Breach will be available June 13th. Disclaimer: Further Entertainment is not responsible for whenever you awaken in the dark. It'll be Windows 10, 16 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes of space, graphics card, and processor. Information for those wondering. Again, Steelwool, Scott Games, Freddy's, Indie, and I got an Xbox pop up. Can you just shush? Thank you. Xbox controller, PlayStation controller, family, Steam achievements, single player. So yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, obviously we know that we're going in to supposedly retrieve the Mimic, but it is interesting that, you know, again, that we have stuff like disclaimer: Further Entertainment is not responsible for whatever you awaken in the dark. More cryptic clues from them. Again, where is it? The redacted company briefing or corporate briefing, the heavily redacted corporate briefing that we get, which is essentially probably the dialogue we got in the trailer. The Mimic. So wow, this is okay. So we get to see a costume for what looks like an elephant, and this doesn't look like it has any like actual fabric on it yet, because this looks like incomplete. This looks like all base, like probably starting of a costume, because it's all white out. I don't know if the character's gonna be white, but interesting that an elephant costume is being worked on. Again, is it hinting at characters like the Mediocre Melodies, like characters like Roxanne Wolf, Montgomery Gator, all these gators, wolves, the cast of Mediocre Melodies, all these other characters existed way earlier, and Music Man, obviously. Yeah, this is definitely a workshop. This spinning chair, and again, it's like, no, that's a party hat. I'm like, there's something in the background, but it's a party hat. I can try and make it. I don't know if I can make it any bigger than. I can see full size in a browser, but I just kind of want to. Let's just go to the next one. All right, here's one that I put in the thumbnail. The elephant costume walking into. Okay, I'm gonna make these a little bigger. Just because I want to make sure these are visible. Did I open these in a Steam browser? That's a thing? I guess that saves me opening them in a Google browser. I mean, if it'll be big enough to show on screen a little closer than what's already on screen. Nope, and it's opening in Google. Never mind. Okay. But yeah, so I might manually start opening these one by one in Google. Anyways, so yeah, we can see main hallway, the bee, the elephant, the crank that we just opened a door. That's an interesting mascot costume. I don't know what that is. I almost thought I saw bunny ears, but no, that's not. That's a green-looking animal costume. There's something barely visible over here. It's got a purple to it in a red ruffle. Again, the gate opening in the main hall. So, interesting location to note. Oh, that reloaded. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna close the Steam browser. I'm gonna copy the page URL. Actually, I don't know if I need to open this one any bigger. This just shows that Music Man thing that we saw. That's a big top hat. Now that we can see it a lot closer, that's a big top hat. And it was like, oh, those are like gramophones. That I was like saying, oh, what are those weird like ruffle things next to the hat? Those are like those vintage grandpa. I said it the first time, and I butchered it any other time. Gramophones. So that's interesting. And again, yeah. And okay, maybe those weren't ears. Maybe those are hair. Does this Music Man have a wig? White wig? But yeah, he's crashing through a ceiling. These are definitely catwalks. So that is interesting. He's breaking through the building. There's Jackie popping out of vent. Oh, I only, like I said, I glanced briefly at the Steam page. If I knew there was a little better like face on of Jackie from the vent thing, I would not have used the one from the trailer. Man, yeah. That is, again, yeah, it's got the orange eyes. It's the orange eyes that we saw in the teaser debut trailer that Jackie had. And also, I think Jack in the trailer didn't have any of its defining features of its party hat or pigtails. So does that mean Jack is going to deteriorate over time? That might be interesting. Or there's a couple versions of the Jackie suit. Or just the Mimic puts on the mask at some point. Just the mask. Alright, here's the office. This is also a thing I took for the thumbnail. So yeah, MCM is on the screen, and that was like a logo that was all over the Help Wanted 2 update teaser stuff. So that's Murray Coe's Manor. So interesting, yeah, 12 a.m. Mirrors. Symbol also looks like it's on whatever this... Oh, this might be another console. I was trying to question what that was in the trailer. This might be another console. So it looks like there's buttons here to press. Monitors, the sticky note. This is obviously a different angle of what we saw earlier in the trailer, but yeah, this definitely is... Is that the roof outside? Or no, that's in the warehouse. I think it's in the warehouse. To me, I thought for a second like that window was looking outside. I'm like, is that the roof? And we saw in the trailer. No, it's not. But yeah, again, this is like a control is a radio board. The time, 12 a.m. MCM, sticky notes, all the monitors. I do wonder if we will have if this is okay. I'll bring it up now, and I'll circle back to it later. If this is gonna somehow play, where it's gonna be kind of essentially free roam, like Security Breach and Ruin, are we gonna have any like kind of sit and survive scenarios where we're gonna have to use the cameras and actually like find out where the Mimic is, because that could be cool. Or do a sister location have a non-canon Mimic fight where it's actually sit and survive? That could be neato. Okay, here's probably... Because we started in the trailer about a welcome show. So that's like a carnival, like traveling, like cart, sheep. And there looks to be a purple hippo, possibly frogs, and an alligator. Which, if we remember from stuff in Security Breach Ruin, there is like a Monty Jug Band looking little cutout thing that they had for like, oh, this is how Monty became part of the show, and Bonnie gave him the guitar. Again, is this further elaborating that, again, maybe Happy Frog, Mr. Hippo, Monty... all, again, were earlier creations, maybe from Edwin, and might be, you know, older attractions than you thought they were. That might be why you can buy... Because, like, if you think about it, I feel like all the animatronics that appear in, like, Pizza Sim and whatnot, where they all are a random assortment, because, like, again... Like you got like the Music Melodies where they all look on the same kind of model and brand, like, you know, brand type, and then you got the rock stars, which obviously we know Henry made Lefty, so Henry probably built the other rock star animatronics, And obviously we have the Funtime Chica and Music Man, which all look Funtime-esque. And again, now we're finding that there's an earlier Music Man than Music Man and Pizza Sim. And then you have, again, like the Tristan Gang. That's just like a cobbled together joke. But yeah, and then you got El Chip, which kind of almost looks like under that Rockstar brand, but isn't, obviously a Rockstar animatronic. So, there's a lot of like animatronics that I feel like they got pulled out of, for the simulation of Pizza Sim that obviously probably came from earlier Fazbear locations. And I think this is hinting at that even more. But yeah, it is interesting seeing some of these things, like an incomplete costume, the elephant and other costumes roaming around, the giant Music Man, which again, if we are going from giant Music Man to the Music Man you can place on stage in Pizza Sim, back to a giant Music Man with the Pizzaplex, it's like, is that what Music Man was always supposed to be, just a giant animatronic? That could be funny. Music Man doesn't appear physically in UCN besides a jump scare. I feel like it could be funny if Music Man in UCN is also a giant and whatnot. That's why you only see his head in the jump scare. Could be funny. Anyways, and again, yeah, Jackie. Jackie is quite the interesting character, where it has like the faceplate, the clown jester aesthetic. Again, if that's the case, Jackie probably predates, red pigtails and splitting faceplates than Circus Baby. So interesting things to think about. And I mean, again, look at the little promotional thing right here next to the title. Jackie definitely is like a jester clown thing, with the red nose, like the face paint, the orangey eyes from the Mimic. So it's all very, very interesting. So it all seems to, amount to something. And I think just because I've kind of done it with most FNAF games, whether I have gotten them when they came out or at a later point in time when I have better technology, I will add Secret of the Mimics to my wish list, because I have 1 and 2 already there. And yeah, so with that being said, that is the Secret of the Mimics Steam page. So, which, like I said, is linked in the description down below for you to check out. I'm going to go to my wish list for just a second, because it's going to lead to my broader conversation. But yeah, okay, here we are. So, let's have a chat. So, there's one more major Secret of the Mimic thing we have to talk about before I have like my general chat. So, I don't know. Where we had a couple tech issues and whatnot, maybe the stream will be almost a typical stream length, but in the sense it won't be. But yeah, anyways. So, what do I think of Secret of the Mimic right now from all the 2 trailers we have, the Steam page, screenshots, and whatnot? It does look a bit promising. Like I said, where I'm already, like I said, I'm not fully, I wouldn't say I'm a full theorist. I sometimes kind of like sometimes picking apart the story and seeing if I understand what is going on and whatnot. But I think it is interesting seeing what is supposed to be an earlier game set supposedly in 1979, featuring a lot of costume characters and animatronic characters that seem to hint at, like, possible connections to other characters that we know of now. And, having the Mimic either fully be just Jackie, or that's its main costume for Secret of the Mimic, not being just the Endo that we see in Ruin, is possibly an interesting thing. So that is something we will have to fully wait and see when the game comes out. And I know if it is going to be possibly free roam, like Security Breach, I know there's a chance that it could be, hopefully not, but there's a chance that people were worried about it being another buggy mess like Security Breach. But I think they learned from that, because Ruin came out like a year later or 2 years later, and that was like a more like straight to the point story that you go from point A to point B. It didn't feel super buggy, besides maybe a few minor glitches. But yeah, I still think it's gonna be an interesting game. I think to fully say what's good or bad, like I joked about in the description with the questions, I think you have to wait till the game fully comes out, because like I don't know, I think it's better to judge the game when it releases than be like, okay, here's all the promotional material we have. This game's gonna suck because of this and this. This looks janky. This looks unpolished. This because it looks like it's gonna cause a bug. Looks like it's gonna cause the game to crash. I think it's best to wait till the game comes out in June and even if you don't pick up the game for yourself, watch a playthrough by someone on YouTube, because there's gonna be a good few playthroughs out there. Watch a playthrough, see it start to finish, see how many bugs that content creator runs into, and judge the game that way. That's what I think I have to say for the game. But yeah, anyways, I think that wraps up all the major Secret of the Mimic stuff. Like I said, I want to add on a little bonus FNAF talk here. So we're going to get to that in a second. But yeah, I think Secret of the Mimic is going to be an interesting game. I think it has potential to do something interesting and have some interesting elements to it. Especially if I don't want to say go full FNAF 3, but if we are only going to have one threat that can be any character, even though I feel like there's going to be a few other threats. Like I said, the Music Man is going to probably be its own threat, because there's no way the Mimic's in that Music Man thing. That doll thing, that looked fully animatronic. That didn't look like it was a costume the Mimic could get inside of. I feel like it's obviously the Mimic might be the main threat, but we're gonna have our Phantom equivalents in this game. There's gonna be other animatronics that are not just the Mimic out after you. We're gonna have to wait and see though. I would be surprised if they somehow say oh yeah, the Mimic was the Music Man, the Mimic was that dolly thing. The dolly thing maybe I could see. Music Man, I don't believe the Mimic to be the giant Music Man. Unless you're gonna say the Mimic's code is in the Music Man. That's the only thing I would maybe buy. Anyways, with that being said, let's have that little general FNAF talk that I want to have at the end of this stream. So, Secret of the Mimic, that's all the stuff I want to say and done. And I will say now, I'm probably not going to be playing it when it releases, because I don't think I have the hardware for it. But nevertheless, I'll probably be watching a playthrough. But I want to get into a general FNAF conversation. So, general FNAF conversation time. So obviously, I pointed it out earlier, and there's also a reason. Obviously, these details came out. These trailers, these Steam pages all came out a little while ago, and that's something I think we should talk about. So obviously, I still love FNAF. I'm still enjoying kind of following it. Whatnot. But yeah, if we look back to late 2021, late 2020, late 2021. I covered everything Security Breach, and before that I covered all the Help Wanted news to an extent. Where is some of the Help Wanted news videos? News. All these Help Wanted news. So again, I was following these pretty frequently. I was obviously following all the little teaser games, troll games. I even covered that crowd control that they did for a GT Live charity stream, because that was something. But yeah, if we look past Security Breach, so I was adding and play Security Breach when it came out, because again, big hardware limitations at the time. If we look forward past that, past the 2021, going into 2022, I was still playing the games. We even had a FNAF talk in 2022, and we were playing certain games. And we had a big crash on the Dreadbear stream because I couldn't run the Foxy ride on my computer. But yeah, if we go into 2023, I bunched up all the Help 1 and 2 teaser, Ruin trailer, and even, like I said, the FNAF movie first teaser into one update live stream where I was playing FNAF 1, I was updating about the channel. I put all those in one thing, that's what I did. You know, I didn't have a single video on the entire Ruin trailer breakdown. I didn't have a full segment video on the Help Wanted 2 mini teaser. I didn't have a full video analyzing frame by frame of the FNAF movie trailer teaser. But you know, and then obviously my 99-year special was the lore. But yeah, we didn't do that, and then I ended 2023 with a news video at the beginning of 2023 before the game released. Just I'm like, hey, just in honor of me I've covered all the Help Wanted 1 news when it was releasing. Here's a full video on the trailer of Help Wanted 2. And that's all I did with that. That's all I did for Help Wanted 2. I didn't cover the Steam page because I think that came out a few days after. Unless I did cover the Steam page in the video. I don't fully remember. That's about a year, almost 2 years ago. But yeah. Then obviously we did a full news video on FNAF AR because it was shutting down. I hadn't played it. And then obviously we're back to our usual stuff. And even the news videos for FNAF's 10th anniversary, a lot of that news was obviously out for like maybe a month or almost 2. And my videos came out maybe like a lot closer to the actual anniversary. It's like, oh yeah, here's all the news that's been out for a while, but hey, I'm gonna slap it all into one video now because I only had the time for one news video. I didn't have time for like 3 or 4 separate news videos. Same with Into the Pit. Into the Pit had like leaks at the beginning of 2024. I stayed away. I had seen them kinda, and I kinda mainly I'm like, I'm not covering them on the channel because they were leaks. When the stuff actually did start coming out, I'm like, okay, stuff's coming out. I want to do a video on this. That video almost came out like literally maybe I think at the end of July, literally right before August was starting. So I'm like, okay, here's your big breakdown of Into the Pit before the game comes out. And here's everything you want to know, and here's my interpretations of everything you want to know. And then since then, again, we were playing mainly Into the Pit and a couple other small FNAF things. But I'm not fully covering the news right when it drops anymore. And the same goes for Fanverse, because obviously I can open the playlist up, but I might just talk about it. I obviously have the Fanverse news playlist, where I was like covering mainly all the FCAFR news, at least maybe a couple days to a week after it came out. The little bit of FNAF Plus news. We had FNAF Plus had its whole stream before that was pulled the plug. I haven't even touched all the entire Pop Goes Evergreen news. Like that's a whole that could be a whole stream just like the FNAF Plus. Obviously we talked about like Pop Goes Arcade, My Pop Goes, all that was covered, but now it's like there was like a joke Pop Goes teaser released not too long ago for Fool's Day. There was a major update with candies that I really want to talk about, but it's almost a month old now. Some T-Jock stuff I think updated on the Steam page, so it's like there's news, and I honestly want to maybe talk about it, being like, okay, I am looking forward to these fan-first games, I want to give them attention, but here we are, when am I going to have the time to sit down with it? So, I don't know, I don't know if I'm going to say, like, going forward, maybe if I'm going to do any more FNAF news, it'll either be on, like, a vlog stream, or, its own big live stream. I still think there will maybe be a few news videos, but I don't know how frequently they're going to come out, and how closely they're going to come out compared to when the news actually drops. Because A, there's going to be a bunch of other YouTube channels already giving you the news right when it drops, and B, I feel like if I can get out a lot of my other stuff that's on my plate, and then come back to the news, and give, like, a fresh take on it a little bit after, because honestly, like I said, we had in the stream where I'm like, hey, I've seen this, but I look back at the mushroom scene, and I'm like, is that Jackie's head in the mushroom costume, and not just the mimic? I had some fresh ideas coming back to this stuff a little bit later. So, yeah. And obviously, again, I want to get Help Wanted 2 at some point, because I would like to try the flat mode, because the flat mode looked interesting. And if you know, from this year's Christmas special, I haven't even had a chance to set it up yet, because I can't get it to work with fully set up just yet, because of one thing or another. But I do have a VR headset. But I don't even know if I'd play it in VR. But, I have Help Wanted I bought Security Breach when it was on sale because I had a slimmer of hope that it was gonna run on my black laptop that we're on right now. Didn't. So, some point in my life, at some point, I'm gonna play Security Breach on PC. But for now, the best thing I have is me playing the Switch port, which I have actually gotten to a main ending. I got the leave ending just a few days ago, or I think actually yesterday. If we want to be realistic, but you know, I mean, this is the closest I get for right now before I can play on PC. So be it. I bought it on PC because I thought I had the space and the storage and the tech to run it. Didn't work out. I own it, so that means it's, you know, I know there's a whole thing about whole shtick about do you own your games, this or that right now going on with gaming right now. Gaming's in an interesting place here, there, and everywhere right now. But I'm not here to talk about that. But yeah, you know, obviously, I think I said I was going to talk back to it at the beginning of the stream because I accidentally opened it. But yeah, you know, obviously I've been doing like my modern playthrough of the classic games. 1, 2, 3, 4. Social Location, which I got to come back to. Pizza Sim. Ultimate Custom Night. And in that playlist description, I do mention Help Wanted because I haven't like... And that's a funny thing I'm going to mention on the stream right now too. Despite having Help Wanted and played over 10 hours and only 7 achievements, I haven't actually beaten the game. I haven't gone all the way through all the main levels. And it's funny that I've just kind of goofed around with Help Wanted since its release, since I got flat mode. But I played Security Breach all the way through. And I'm not saying that this because I don't like Help Wanted. It's just, you know, I didn't fully have I didn't feel invested to fully go through the game. Because I think at the time that I got it, flat mode came out literally, I think, at the end of 2019, after the game had already been out. So I watched like a full playthrough. So I think my mindset when I got it in flat mode, I'm like, hey, the game just came out. This is fun. I'm just gonna mess around with it. I already know how the game ends. Why play through the ending right now? And that's why that's why I have games that, like, you know, I've played, like Social Location, FNAF 4, and it took me years later to actually beat them to some extent. So, you know, it's interesting. But yeah, so, needless to say, at some point, you know, I will be, you know, playing through certain FNAF games to a completion, or full completion, or quote-unquote 100% in my book. But, that's still, you know, here and there. So, we're gonna have to wait and see when that all plans out. Because obviously, let's not forget the ever-growing list of fan games and mods that I'm playing, because they're fun. You know, just for the sake of having this, you know, like, again, the mods, the fan games. You know, there's stuff that I want to come back to, stuff I played, stuff I haven't played, stuff that I've downloaded but it's just sitting there. So there's a lot of stuff. FNAF, it's over 10 years old now. We're gonna be 11 this year, and you know, maybe I like it for one reason now than I did when I first kind of did get into it eventually. But I think just like, cause like that, I can say the same thing about kind of like Super Mario and whatnot. Like I like Mario for this reason and that reason, but you know, I haven't fully necessarily played every Mario game to completion, or every Mario spin-off or this or that. You know, same goes for like Minecraft. You know, I've played a lot of Minecraft in a sense, and I've technically beaten it on the Wii U edition with friends, or maybe there's an old world of mine that I did do it by myself. But you know, I haven't played Minecraft Java to its full extent to beat the Ender Dragon, nor have I, you know, done this or that in Minecraft. You know, you can like something and either fully complete it or not complete it, or just mess around in it. It all depends on your play style, your connection with the game. And I think for me, doing these update videos, covering the news of a game, you know, I get to see where the game might be going, where I think we're going to be heading in this story. Because I know FNAF was in a weird place at the Security Breach where it's like, oh, they brought Afton back, oh, yada yada yada, oh, the game was glitchy, oh, we're gonna boycott FNAF, oh, we don't like Steel Wool anymore, even though they made a good Help Wanted game with a few bugs. But, I still think that, I feel like now that we've had a little more security breach, not just security breach, now we've had more Steel Wool games, and we have, like, Make a Cat making a game, and maybe another game down the road, and, I don't know, I'm just gonna say it, I've been hearing stuff from, YouTube Shorts and other stuff that Scott popped into a couple of people's live streams when the FNAF movie teaser was coming out, which that's one of the things I had to talk about for the stream ends. That is like, oh, this FNAF World music's really good. Someone should make a sequel to it or something. Don't know if we're actually gonna get a FNAF World sequel, but rumors, speculation, all fits in with the FNAF brand. We had all the hoaxes way back when and whatnot, so it's all part of FNAF's identity. So yeah. And yeah, FNAF movie 2. I've seen the teaser. Again, I'm not gonna watch it. Just because I don't want this stream to be, I think the last one that we watched the first teaser on, it has obviously a claim where it's like, oh yeah, you can keep this, the stream is fine, but you can't monetize it. And I'm like, yeah, I know I'm not at the monetizing stage yet, but down the road, if I get to monetize any of my videos, stuff like this where I'm having a good ramble at the end of like a big news stream, and I want people to watch that and have it maybe get some traction and attention, then of course I'm gonna be like, hey, I don't want this to not be able to be shared and maybe monetized, But yeah, I've seen the FNAF 2 trailer. It's interesting the direction the movie's going, because yeah, FNAF 2, the movie is going to be a sequel, not like FNAF 2 that's a prequel sequel. And the animatronics are going to be roaming around the world and they might be in the pizzeria, but they also might be like, FNAF AR style, going to be roaming into your house, trying to find Abby, Mike, something. Teaser only gave us a little bit to work with. We haven't seen the Wizards or the puppet yet. We got to see Balloon Boy, surprisingly, and it's not like the little action figure that was in the first movie, surprisingly. So there's technically 2 different movie Balloon Boys. So yeah, that's fun. But that's neither here nor there. I think I got everything out. I think I got everything else I wanted to say out of the way. At some point down the road, maybe for a one-off stream or even a video, I'll do a quick playthrough, or I'll mess around maybe on my personal save file, because I can now freely explore the Pizzaplex now that I've reached an ending. Maybe I can mess around in the Pizzaplex for a video for maybe at some point, like I said, those maybe a few years from now, maybe do a channel playthrough, whether it's on the Switch port or who knows if I get a big family, not family PC, but a big PC that's on a laptop, and get to play Security Breach PC for myself and get some of those Steam achievements, We'll find out. But I think with that, we're in the stream. We've talked about the Secret of the Mimic stuff. I've gone on my little FNAF little chat ramble at the end. So yeah, that's everything I want to say. Secret of the Mimic, I'm just going to wait till the game comes out, watch videos on it, and make my judgment there. And I suggest you guys to maybe do the same. Because maybe we'll find out more about this maybe newer Mimic story that's going to go on that, like I said, I think we've now, maybe with newer games coming out, maybe we're finally moving on from the ghost story to the animatronic, electronic, Mimic AI story for FNAF. We'll have to wait and see. More sci-fi robotics than paranormal possession. We'll wait and see. But that being said, if you have enjoyed, do leave a like, comment, subscribe, they're appreciated. Hit the bell if I'm going to come back to do more on the channel, and I'll be back soon for something else this month, later this week, or by the weekend. We'll wait and see. Yeah, we'll wait and see. But with that being said, I'm going to go rest my voice, because this has just been a talking stream, and usually those type of streams, including games like DDLC where I have to read, or reading streams, usually kill my throat. So I'm going to go get more water. And I'm going to go do some relaxing and watching some videos where I don't have to talk. Because I'll be watching other people do the talking, not me. Anyways, till next time, stay safe, stay healthy. I'll see you on the flip side. It's outro time. And I'll be back soon for something else. And I don't know, in a future FNAF stream after Secret of the Mimic's out, maybe I'll tell you what my thoughts are. It's not, that'll be sometime probably this summer. See you guys later. Goodbye.